It was another bustling Wednesday morning in Manhattan. The streets echoed with the hurried footsteps of professionals rushing toward their goals, their ambitions resonating in the rhythmic hum of traffic. Amidst the bustling sea of purposeful movement, Alex walked steadily toward her office building, a towering glass structure reflecting the early sunlight. Each step she took was steady, intentional, confident, but beneath that confidence lingered an unusual, almost imperceptible anxiety. As Alex entered the grand lobby, lined with polished marble and subtle modern art pieces, she greeted colleagues with polite nods and brief smiles. But today, the usually reassuring familiarity felt different, subtly charged with tension. She stepped into the elevator, surrounded by peers, noting their fleeting glances and hesitant nods. The silence, typically comfortable and professional, was laced today with something more complex and undefined. The elevator doors slid open to the executive floor, and Alex approached the large glass boardroom. Inside, her colleagues were gathered, engaging in muted conversations, the gentle murmur punctuated occasionally by cautious laughter. When Alex entered, the atmosphere shifted quietly but palpably. Conversations lowered even further, glances darted quickly toward her before swiftly retreating, and Alex felt immediately an invisible wave of subtle judgment. Taking her seat at the table, Alex kept her composure intact, smiling politely at those around her. Internally, however, a stream of quiet questions flooded her mind. Why did the room feel colder today? What had triggered these subtle, judgmental glances? Had she inadvertently caused offense or misunderstanding? The uncertainty unsettled her, more profoundly than overt hostility ever could. Alex reflected silently, recalling recent interactions. She searched her memory for missteps or misunderstandings, yet nothing stood out. She had simply been herself, dedicated, thoughtful, and respectful in her interactions. The disconnect felt puzzling precisely because it seemed unwarranted, unprompted by any clear wrongdoing or fault of hers. As the meeting commenced, Alex focused deliberately on her breathing, grounding herself in calmness. Her mind drifted momentarily to a recent book she'd read on Stoic philosophy, particularly a passage by Marcus Aurelius, reminding her, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound statement resonated deeply, prompting Alex to reconsider her immediate emotional response. Rather than internalizing the subtle judgment, she began viewing it as external events beyond her control. This perspective shift eased her anxiety significantly, providing clarity and comfort. She realized that these hidden emotions, judgment, envy, insecurity, while directed toward her, might not truly be about her. They were often reflections of deeper struggles within the individuals expressing them, subtle projections of their own unresolved internal conflicts. Stoicism taught Alex to respond to these invisible battles with empathy, clarity, and quiet. Resilience. Instead of reacting defensively or retreating into self-doubt, she resolved to remain steadfast in her integrity, allowing her consistent actions and calm demeanor to speak louder than any words could. By acknowledging her limited control over external perceptions, she reclaimed her peace and power within herself. This morning had provided a profound lesson, showing Alex that understanding hidden emotions required patient reflection and steady inner clarity. It was not her responsibility to correct every misconception directly, nor was it beneficial to internalize every subtle judgment. Her true strength lay in her capacity to respond thoughtfully, calmly, and authentically, rooted deeply in her values and Stoic principles. Looking around the room again, Alex no longer saw just subtle judgment or hidden tensions. Instead, she saw opportunities to engage with empathy, communicate clearly, and embody quiet strength. She understood now that hidden emotions, though challenging, could serve as powerful mirrors reflecting back valuable insights into human interactions and emotional intelligence. As Alex settled deeper into her chair, calmness replaced her earlier anxiety. She knew that navigating life's emotional intricacies required not just resilience, but ongoing growth, continuous learning, and quiet determination. If you're intrigued by the power of Stoicism to help you navigate hidden emotional currents, remember to subscribe to True Stoic Way for ongoing insights and practical guidance. With renewed clarity and confidence, Alex focused her attention fully on the meeting, ready to apply these powerful insights directly to her day and interactions. She understood now, more clearly than ever, that hidden emotions weren't obstacles. They were opportunities to strengthen her character and embody the quiet strength she admired. The meeting progresses smoothly. Soon the CEO, a poised woman named Margaret, rises from her chair and addresses the room. Her tone is confident, yet warm. Before we conclude today, there's someone whose exceptional work deserves special acknowledgement. Alex's leadership on the Gateway project resulted in record-breaking results and unprecedented client satisfaction. Margaret gestures toward Alex, her eyes genuinely appreciative. The room breaks into polite applause, some sincere, some merely perfunctory. Alex feels a gentle wave of gratitude mixed with a quiet humility. She nods slightly, offering a calm smile. Her success isn't a trophy to parade. Instead, it feels like quiet confirmation that hard work, discipline, and genuine effort eventually bear fruit. But amidst the applause, Alex notices something subtle, almost invisible, a glance from her co-worker Sam. Sam's claps are brief and unenthusiastic, their eyes averted quickly, as if suddenly interested in the notebook lying in front of them. Something about Sam's reaction feels strained, uncomfortable. As the meeting adjourns, Alex observes Sam's hurried exit, catching the quick flash of tension crossing Sam's face as they pass her. She wonders quietly why such a genuine acknowledgement would produce discomfort. But Stoicism reminds Alex that hidden emotions like envy rarely have a direct, logical link to her actions. Envy, Alex recalls from her Stoic readings, is a complicated emotion, often less about the envied person's actions and more about what their success highlights in another. It's as if Alex's recognition suddenly illuminated Sam's internal struggles, reflecting unmet aspirations and silently held disappointments. Alex realizes she is not the cause of Sam's discomfort. Rather, her success inadvertently serves as a mirror, reflecting back Sam's perceived inadequacies. Back in her office, Alex pauses, considering this carefully. She feels empathy towards Sam rather than resentment or superiority. After all, who hasn't at times felt a pang of envy upon witnessing someone else's success, silently questioning their own worth or achievements? Alex understands deeply that envy is less about ill will and more about vulnerability, the fear of not measuring up, the quiet ache of feeling left behind. Yet Stoicism gently reminds her that understanding envy's origins doesn't mean she must diminish herself to make others comfortable. The true challenge and the core Stoic practice lie in holding her success lightly yet firmly, with humility rather than apology. Alex decides to handle the situation carefully, without confrontation or defensiveness. The next day, she approaches Sam casually in the communal kitchen, a neutral and open space. "Hey, Sam," she says warmly, her voice intentionally gentle but genuine. "I've been meaning to say, I really appreciated the contributions you made to the Gateway project. Your insights helped shape our approach significantly." Sam pauses, caught off guard. The guarded expression softens slightly, replaced by brief uncertainty. They finally reply, somewhat awkwardly, "Well, thanks, but it was really your leadership that got it over the line." Alex smiles lightly, shaking her head modestly. "It was a team effort, really. I just wanted you to know I noticed and valued your part." Sam looks away briefly, considering this recognition carefully. Alex senses a subtle but meaningful shift. Not a total transformation, but a quiet easing of the tension. Walking away, Alex feels reassured. She can't change Sam's internal landscape. Only Sam can do that. But by offering genuine recognition, she creates a space for Sam to perhaps reconsider the assumptions fueling their envy. This scenario underscores a central truth within Stoicism: the recognition that envy, though aimed outwardly, originates from inward pain. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Alex embodies this wisdom perfectly. She understands her actions can influence, but never fully dictate, others' emotions.
Stoicism teaches that envy will inevitably surface, particularly in competitive environments, yet one must resist absorbing the negativity it might bring. In the days that follow, Alex continues to engage normally with Sam, making no overt efforts
to placate or patronize, instead remaining authentically respectful and professionally supportive. Gradually, Sam's tension lessens, becoming less pronounced. Perhaps they begin to see that Alex's success need not diminish their own potential or value. Alex quietly acknowledges this lesson deeply. The strength she seeks isn't in silencing envy completely, an unrealistic goal, but in gracefully responding when envy arises. It's about choosing empathy over resentment, humility over arrogance, clarity over confusion. Envy may be inevitable, but absorbing it is a choice. Alex chooses not to internalize it. Ultimately, Alex learns that navigating envy, like any complex emotional interaction, requires clear boundaries paired with genuine understanding. Stoicism reminds her that the only genuine control anyone possesses is over their own reactions, their interpretation of events, and their choice of responses. This awareness becomes Alex's quiet power, rooted not in overcoming envy entirely, but in gracefully accepting it as part of human interaction, maintaining her integrity, and calmly offering the opportunity for others to reflect, reconsider, and perhaps even grow. In doing so, Alex demonstrates precisely the kind of quiet strength Stoicism champions: steady, composed, and compassionately aware, ever mindful that true strength is found in responding with integrity and humility, no matter the external emotional currents swirling around her. After a long day at work, Alex feels drained yet accomplished. As she walks home through the vibrant, twilight-lit streets, her phone vibrates softly. It's a message from Jamie, her best friend since college. "Hey, dinner tomorrow? Been too long?" Smiling. Tiredly, Alex quickly types a brief reply. "Can't tomorrow, too busy. Maybe next week." She pockets her phone and moves on, unaware that those few words, typed hastily, would trigger a quiet storm. Jamie, meanwhile, sits across town, holding her phone, a sinking sensation pulling at her heart. The words, brief and terse, feel cold and distant. Jamie wonders silently, is something wrong? Did I do something to upset Alex? She replays recent interactions, combing them meticulously for any perceived slight or wrongdoing. With each replay, Jamie's confusion slowly morphs into subtle hurt, each unanswered question gradually building walls of silent resentment. The next day, Jamie's thoughts persist, spiraling into uncertainty and insecurity. The casual, brief text has become a seed of misunderstanding, sprouting into a tangled narrative. She starts interpreting Alex's busyness as avoidance, the lack of warmth as rejection, and the brevity as dismissal. Jamie quietly decides to withdraw, thinking it's what Alex seemingly wants. Alex, occupied with meetings and projects, barely registers Jamie's prolonged silence. But something nags at her subconscious. Throughout the day, the vague feeling intensifies. Finally, at lunch, Alex realizes Jamie hasn't responded since yesterday's brief text. Reflecting on her Stoic principles, Alex pauses to consider her own actions carefully. She recalls the Stoic insight that misunderstandings aren't simply about communication errors, but are about perception and the emotional stories people build around sparse information. Rather than let the silence linger, Alex decides to proactively address it, practicing the Stoic value of clarity and open communication. That evening, she calls Jamie, hearing the hesitant tone in Jamie's greeting. "Hey, Jamie," Alex says warmly, sensing the tension immediately. "Listen, I've been thinking about my text last night. It might have sounded abrupt. I was exhausted, and I sent it quickly without thinking." There's a brief pause, and then Jamie exhales softly, her voice vulnerable. "Honestly, Alex, I did feel a bit hurt. It felt like you didn't want to see me." Alex nods thoughtfully, though Jamie can't see it, speaking gently. "I completely understand how it came across. It was never my intention. I truly was overwhelmed. But that doesn't excuse the way my words might have made you feel." As they speak, openly, the tension gently dissipates. Jamie confesses how her mind spiraled into assumptions and negativity, creating scenarios Alex never intended. Alex listens patiently, acknowledging each concern sincerely, validating Jamie's feelings, without defensiveness or dismissal. "You know," Alex says softly, reflecting aloud, "Marcus Aurelius wrote that everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is perspective, not the truth. Our interpretations shape our experiences more than reality itself." Jamie considers this quietly, realizing that her perceptions had indeed painted a far more painful picture than reality warranted. With honesty and humility, both friends navigate through the confusion, agreeing to be more careful in their future communications. After ending the call, Alex reflects deeply, appreciating how a simple act of proactive clarification prevented a lasting emotional rift. She recognizes again the subtle power of Stoicism, not just as theory, but as practical wisdom guiding everyday interactions. Over the following days, Alex consciously practices clearer, warmer communication, aware of how easily misinterpretation occurs. She texts Jamie more intentionally, making sure her messages reflect her true warmth and sincerity. Jamie, feeling more secure, reciprocates openly, their friendship quickly regaining its previous closeness. This scenario becomes a profound lesson for Alex. She learns that miscommunication isn't simply about words. It's about empathy, patience, and proactive understanding. She understands that silence, brevity, or even casual wording can unintentionally foster quiet resentments and hidden hurts. Alex now sees communication as more than information exchange. It's a delicate dance of intentions and perceptions. She internalizes the Stoic belief that clarity, patience, and proactive engagement are vital not just for resolving misunderstandings, but for preventing them. She further reflects on Seneca's wisdom. "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Jamie's initial suffering was indeed amplified by imagination and insecurity rather than actual rejection or disinterest. Through this quiet yet powerful lesson, Alex feels more grounded in her emotional intelligence, recognizing her influence over communication but also respecting others' perceptions. Her approach, grounded in Stoic philosophy, doesn't eliminate misunderstandings entirely, but provides tools to manage them calmly, compassionately, and proactively. Ultimately, Alex concludes that open dialogue, clear intentions, and patient understanding constitute the quiet strength necessary to navigate miscommunication. This approach allows both sides to dismantle internal narratives, rebuild trust, and reaffirm connections. As Alex turns off the lights, readying herself for restful sleep, she feels profound gratitude, not only for the clarity she's gained, but for the deeper understanding of how nuanced and fragile human communication truly is. Armed with this Stoic insight, she feels better equipped to face future misunderstandings, confident that the strength of genuine connection always outweighs the temporary discomfort of addressing miscommunication head-on. Want to enhance your communication skills through Stoic wisdom? Subscribe to True Stoic Way and join our community for regular insights and techniques. Alex's life has gradually shifted towards greater mindfulness, marked by deliberate choices about health, wellness, and personal balance. Inspired by readings and personal reflection, she consciously decides to adopt a lifestyle emphasizing well-being, moderation, and self-care. She embraces regular exercise, prioritizes sufficient sleep, maintains balanced nutrition, and limits late-night socializing to ensure mental clarity and emotional balance. However, these personal choices soon become quietly controversial within her workplace culture. A vibrant yet demanding environment where networking and late-night social gatherings are deeply woven into professional advancement and camaraderie. Alex's polite yet consistent refusals to participate begin to draw subtle attention and quiet scrutiny from colleagues. One Friday evening, after another productive yet intense week, colleagues gather around her desk. Laughter and excited chatter fill the office, anticipation building for their weekly social ritual, a night at the upscale rooftop lounge, an event considered almost mandatory for bonding and informal networking. "Come on, Alex," Jake, her energetic co-worker, insists cheerfully. "Just this once. It won't hurt you." Alex smiles softly, genuine yet firm. "Thanks, Jake. I appreciate the invitation, but I need to recharge. I promised myself I'd stick to my routine. Maybe next time." Jake shrugs, masking mild irritation beneath a friendly veneer. As Alex packs up and leaves, her absence doesn't go unnoticed. Behind the casual banter, quiet whispers begin. "She always skips out," someone murmurs with mild annoyance. Another voice adds, slightly sarcastically, "Guess some of us aren't good enough company." Over the weeks, Alex becomes increasingly aware of these subtle judgments. Friends who previously seemed warm become slightly distant. Conversations suddenly become shorter, guarded, less inviting. Subtle glances pass between co-workers whenever she politely declines another late-night gathering. Initially, Alex feels discomfort, an internal pull between maintaining her chosen path and succumbing to external expectations. She ponders silently. Am I alienating myself unnecessarily? Is prioritizing my health unintentionally offending those around me? Reflecting upon Stoic wisdom, she recalls Epictetus's advice. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Alex realizes deeply that others' reactions to her choices lie outside her control. Her colleagues' subtle discomfort reflects their own values and preferences, not inherent flaws in hers. She calmly accepts this understanding, no longer burdened by the discomfort of difference. She recognizes that her decisions, though silently provocative, don't represent criticism of others' lifestyles, merely an expression of her personal values. She decides that consistency, clarity, and gentle confidence are her best responses. Yet Alex doesn't entirely retreat into isolation. Instead, she seeks ways to bridge the divide without compromising her principles. She joins team lunches, actively engages in collaborative projects, and enthusiastically supports her co-workers' efforts during regular office hours. Her presence remains positive and collaborative, even as she gently maintains boundaries around after-hours events. Gradually, Alex observes that the initial whispers and subtle judgments slowly lose intensity, though they never fully vanish. She accepts this calmly, aware that absolute acceptance is neither feasible nor necessary. Stoicism has taught her that harmony with oneself is more critical than universal approval. Still, Alex notices subtle but meaningful changes within her work environment. A few colleagues quietly approach her with questions about mindfulness, health routines, and managing stress. Alex happily shares insights without preaching or implying superiority, reinforcing her choices as personal rather than prescriptive. One afternoon, Sam, previously wary after Alex's public recognition, approaches her hesitantly during a coffee break. "How do you keep it up, this discipline and routine stuff?" Sam asks, with genuine curiosity. Alex smiles gently, recognizing the delicate moment. "Honestly, it's about what matters most to you. I realized I function better and feel happier when I take care of myself. It doesn't mean I think anyone else's way is wrong. It's just what works for me. Sam nods slowly, considering this perspective, perhaps recognizing their own quiet assumptions. I guess I never thought of it that way, Sam admits, the tension visibly relaxing in their shoulders. This small interaction confirms Alex's stoic approach. By staying true to her values without judgment or rigidity, she quietly invites others to reflect and reconsider their perceptions. Alex's approach reflects a deeper Stoic truth articulated by Marcus Aurelius. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Instead of retaliating or harboring resentment against silent judgments, she chooses kindness, clarity, and respectful boundaries, embodying the very qualities she values. Through this experience, Alex profoundly understands that differences in values need not provoke conflict, even silently. Instead, they can inspire reflection, growth, and mutual respect. She learns that quiet strength comes from embracing her own choices calmly and respectfully, regardless of external approval. Each day, Alex walks into her office knowing she has chosen integrity over acceptance, peace over conformity. Her choices quietly echo the Stoic wisdom that genuine strength lies not in changing others or proving oneself superior, but in calmly living according to one's deepest truths. In embracing Stoicism fully, Alex discovers she no longer feels burdened by subtle provocations or silent judgments. Her self-awareness and acceptance become an unspoken source of influence, encouraging others subtly, not through coercion or confrontation, but through quiet, consistent example. As Alex ends another productive day, she steps into the busy Manhattan streets, feeling a serene clarity. She reflects again on Epictetus's wisdom. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. She realizes deeply that Stoicism isn't merely a philosophy of thought. It is a practical guide for living authentically amidst inevitable differences, judgments, and silent provocations. In calmly accepting differences without forcing alignment or judgment, Alex embodies the quiet strength and gentle resilience Stoicism promises. This realization comforts Alex profoundly, reaffirming her path and strengthening her resolve. Walking confidently through the twilight-lit streets, she carries this wisdom forward, prepared to gently yet firmly navigate any future silent provocations, secure in the quiet power of her authentic choices. Despite Alex's quiet confidence and the steady consistency of her character, a day comes when she finds herself caught unexpectedly in the tangled web of office gossip. It begins subtly, a few hushed conversations abruptly ceasing as she approaches. Curious glances exchange between colleagues that seem both puzzled and wary. Initially dismissing it as harmless workplace chatter, Alex soon notices a deeper undercurrent, something more sinister subtly altering her environment. Conversations grow shorter, interactions become strained, and a vague sense of suspicion replaces the previously open camaraderie she had shared with many of her co-workers. One afternoon, during a routine coffee break, Alex overhears fragments of a conversation. Her name drifts quietly from around a corner, caught in murmured tones filled with hesitation and speculative uncertainty. Her heart sinks, not from anger, but from confusion. She wonders, what could she have possibly done to trigger such whispers? The following day, her question is answered indirectly when her friend Jamie, visibly uncomfortable, gently pulls her aside. "Alex, have you heard what's been going around?" Jamie's voice is soft, but heavy with concern. Alex shakes her head calmly, though a sense of unease tightens briefly within her chest. Jamie sighs quietly, hesitant, yet feeling obligated to clarify. "Someone started saying you've been secretly taking credit for other people's ideas on the Gateway project. I don't believe it, obviously, but people are starting to talk." For a moment, Alex feels a surge of disbelief and frustration, emotions raw and fleeting. She quickly regains composure, recognizing the futility of immediate reaction. Drawing on her Stoic practice, she breathes deeply, acknowledging this event as something beyond her direct control. yet firmly within her ability to manage her response. Alex thanks Jamie sincerely, appreciating her friend's honesty. She returns to her desk and contemplates the nature of rumors. The Stoics remind her that rumors gain strength from uncertainty and thrive in environments where assumptions replace truth. She recognizes that addressing every whisper and assumption directly would be exhausting and ultimately futile. Instead, Alex chooses a quieter, more effective path, the Stoic path of integrity and steady example. She decides that her consistent actions and unwavering authenticity must become her strongest defense against the distorted truths circulating around her. In the days that follow, Alex consciously maintains her usual professionalism, engaging openly and collaboratively with colleagues, neither defensive nor overly explanatory. She quietly ensures credit is visibly shared during meetings, transparently and genuinely acknowledging contributions from her peers, subtly but unmistakably correcting distorted perceptions through clear and humble actions rather than defensive confrontations. Gradually, the whispered suspicions begin to lose their power. Colleagues, initially influenced by uncertainty, quietly observe Alex's genuine actions contradicting the claims of the rumors. Without explicit statements or confrontations, Alex's quiet strength and clear behavior speak volumes louder than the original accusations. Weeks pass, and slowly the tension dissipates. Jamie approaches Alex again, visibly relieved. "You know," Jamie admits quietly, "seeing how you handled this whole situation taught me a lot. You never got angry or defensive. You just kept doing the right thing. It made the rumors seem ridiculous." Alex nods thoughtfully, appreciating the affirmation, but also deeply aware that rumors, like most distortions, reflect more about their creator's insecurities and fears than her character. She understands profoundly now what Seneca meant when he advised, "A good character, when established, is not easily overthrown and should be our most cherished possession." Through this experience, Alex internalizes the essential Stoic truth that focusing excessively on reputation or attempting to control others' perceptions directly can lead only to frustration. True resilience lies in upholding virtue consistently, patiently trusting that truth and integrity will naturally correct distortions over time. She reflects further on Marcus Aurelius's words, "If someone despises me, that's their problem. My only concern is not doing or saying anything deserving of contempt." This Stoic wisdom guides Alex in confidently facing rumors and maintaining her dignity. Her role is not to silence gossip, an impossible task, but rather to remain authentically true to herself. Trusting this quiet, consistent approach will inevitably overcome distortion. As Alex returns home after another challenging yet insightful day, walking through the bustling, illuminated Manhattan streets, she feels strengthened rather than weakened by the experience. She understands now more clearly than ever that rumors hold power only when granted importance and when truth is neglected. In remaining calmly consistent, Alex embodies the Stoic ideal of quiet strength, showcasing how genuine character outlasts temporary distortions. Each step she takes forward through the city's vibrant night reinforces her resolve to face future challenges with similar calm, clarity, and quiet confidence, understanding deeply that integrity, patience, and authenticity form the surest path to overcoming distorted truths. Struggling with misunderstandings or rumors? Subscribe to True Stoic Way to learn Stoic strategies for clarity, integrity, and inner peace. As Alex continues to navigate her professional environment with calm confidence, she encounters yet another subtle challenge, one stemming from the deep-rooted insecurities of a coworker named Jordan. Jordan is talented and ambitious, but struggles internally with feelings of inadequacy and doubt, traits Alex initially perceives through small but telling behaviors. It begins subtly, almost imperceptibly, Jordan making understated comments during meetings that downplay Alex's contributions, or casting doubt on her decisions through subtle skepticism. At first, Alex views these behaviors as typical workplace disagreements. Yet over time, the pattern becomes clearer and the subtleties more intentional, revealing something deeper at play. One afternoon, during a significant client presentation, Alex articulately outlines a strategic proposal, receiving appreciative nods from the client representatives. Just as she concludes, Jordan casually interjects, framing a seemingly innocent question. "Alex, your plan seems promising, but aren't there significant risks you're overlooking here?" The tone isn't overtly hostile, but subtly implies doubt, undermining confidence in Alex's competence. Alex senses the discomfort ripple subtly around the room. She feels momentarily unsettled, but quickly reminds herself of Stoicism's teachings, that the actions and words of others reflect their internal struggles far more clearly than they reflect her actual capabilities. Reflecting later in quiet contemplation, Alex recalls the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. When another blames or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside and see what sort of people they are. She understands that Jordan's subtle undermining stems less from malice and more from Jordan's own internal battles, insecurities about self-worth and professional adequacy. Rather than responding defensively or confronting Jordan aggressively, Alex chooses compassion tempered with clear, healthy boundaries. She resolves to address the situation proactively but gently, aiming for clarity rather than confrontation. The following day, Alex finds a natural opportunity to speak privately with Jordan, approaching the conversation with warmth but clear intent. "Jordan," she begins gently, "I wanted to touch base about yesterday's meeting. Your point about potential risks was valid, but I noticed the timing and tone seemed to suggest something deeper. Is there something you're concerned about that we should discuss openly?" Jordan hesitates, visibly taken aback by the calm directness of Alex's approach. For a brief moment, vulnerability flickers behind Jordan's carefully maintained facade. "I suppose," Jordan finally admits quietly, "I just feel uncertain sometimes, worried about my own contributions." Alex listens patiently, genuinely attentive without judgment. This moment of openness confirms her insight that Jordan's actions were driven by personal insecurity, not genuine malice. Understanding this deeply, Alex responds empathetically, yet firmly, acknowledging Jordan's feelings but also clearly expressing the impact of those insecurities on their professional interactions. "I appreciate your honesty," Alex replies gently. "We all experience insecurity, especially under pressure. But it's important we support each other openly rather than subtly undermining confidence. I'm always here to collaborate and help address your concerns directly." Jordan nods slowly, a sense of relief subtly replacing the initial defensiveness. The interaction, while brief, marks an important turning point. It demonstrates to Jordan the possibility of open dialogue rather than subtle competition, illustrating a healthier way to manage internal battles. In the weeks following their conversation, Alex notices Jordan's subtle behaviors begin to change. The undermining remarks decrease, replaced gradually by more direct, constructive dialogue. Alex continues to respond with compassion and steady professionalism, never sacrificing her boundaries or self-respect. Through this experience, Alex deepens her understanding of Stoicism, especially regarding interactions driven by personal insecurity. She learns firsthand that while she cannot control another person's inner battles, her own clarity, empathy, and firm boundaries can influence outcomes positively. Alex internalizes a profound Stoic insight that responding to insecurity with understanding and compassion can often mitigate conflict, turning silent adversaries into cooperative colleagues. She recognizes that healthy boundaries protect her peace without sacrificing empathy, enabling her to maintain genuine relationships built on mutual respect. Each day that Alex calmly navigates these complex emotional dynamics, she grows more rooted in Stoic wisdom, increasingly confident in her ability to respond effectively and compassionately to future challenges born of personal insecurities. She concludes, deeply and sincerely, that true strength lies not in overpowering others' insecurities, but in calmly and clearly demonstrating compassion, wisdom, and firm, respectful boundaries. Alex soon finds herself facing another challenging interaction, this time involving her supervisor, Mark, whose commanding presence and assertive style have always inspired mixed reactions within the team. While generally respected for his decisiveness, Mark's intense focus on productivity sometimes leads him to overlook the nuances and personal efforts of his team members. A critical project deadline approaches rapidly, and Alex dedicates herself meticulously to ensure the best outcome. Late nights and early mornings blur together as she carefully assembles reports, coordinates with multiple departments, and ensures every detail is precise and well executed. Alex's efforts are diligent and thorough, embodying her commitment and integrity. However, in the project review meeting, Mark appears distracted and dismissive, quickly glossing over Alex's comprehensive summary and prematurely concluding, "Let's move on. We're losing valuable time on minor details." The abruptness of Mark's dismissal stings quietly, not because Alex craves validation, but because the disregard suggests a deeper misunderstanding of her intentions. Mark's swift judgment feels unfair, as though he suspects Alex of vanity or superficiality, projecting an interpretation that does not align with her authentic efforts and motivations. Afterward, Alex reflects deeply on the encounter, reminding herself of Stoic insights into human behavior. She recalls Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? This gentle introspection helps her understand that Mark's lack of empathy likely stems from his preoccupation with personal achievement and professional ego rather than intentional malice. Alex chooses to approach the situation without bitterness or defensiveness. She realizes clearly that confronting Mark angrily or aggressively would only exacerbate the misunderstanding. Instead, she decides that patient explanation and clear, calm dialogue could potentially bridge the gap. The next day, she asks Mark for a brief private meeting. Mark agrees reluctantly, his expression slightly guarded yet curious. In the quiet office, Alex begins calmly, her tone respectful and composed. "Mark, I wanted to clarify my intentions regarding yesterday's review. I fully understand your focus on efficiency and appreciate your concern about productivity. However, I want you to know that my detailed approach stems from my desire to deliver thorough and quality outcomes, not from a desire to impress or waste time." Mark listens silently, his expression gradually shifting from defensiveness to quiet contemplation. Alex continues thoughtfully, "I know we share the same goal, to achieve the best possible results. I respect your perspective and wanted to ensure you understood mine clearly." For a brief moment, silence hangs gently between them. Mark finally speaks, his voice softer and reflective. "Alex, I may have rushed judgment on your approach. I apologize if I misinterpreted your intentions. The pressures of deadlines sometimes cloud my judgment." Alex nods appreciatively, recognizing the sincerity behind Mark's admission. This subtle but meaningful moment highlights Mark's capacity to reflect when approached without confrontation or accusation. In the following days, Mark gradually shows increased attentiveness to Alex's input, listening more carefully during meetings and acknowledging her efforts more consistently. Alex continues to interact with Mark without demanding recognition or praise, quietly confident that genuine effort, integrity, and clear communication speak louder than demands or complaints. This experience profoundly reinforces Alex's understanding of Stoicism. She learns that empathy, though not always reciprocated immediately or obviously, can still effectively guide interactions toward clarity and mutual respect. She recognizes deeply that maintaining a calm, clear, and empathetic response amid misunderstandings protects her own emotional balance and gradually fosters healthier professional dynamics. Ultimately, Alex internalizes a valuable lesson: that responding to ego-driven misjudgments with calm clarity rather than emotional reactivity strengthens relationships rather than weakens them.
Her Stoic practice allows her to remain grounded and compassionate, even amid misunderstandings or apparent disrespect. By consistently demonstrating patience, clarity, and empathy, even when those qualities aren't immediately mirrored, Alex
quietly embodies Stoic resilience, proving that true strength lies in responding wisely, clearly, and compassionately to the inevitable challenges of human interaction. Interested in cultivating empathy and overcoming misjudgments? Subscribe to True Stoic Way for practical Stoic insights to strengthen your emotional intelligence. Following Alex's recent promotion, something subtle yet significant changes within her friendship with Sarah, her close friend since their earliest days at the firm. Previously, their friendship had been marked by mutual encouragement, shared aspirations, and genuine happiness for each other's successes. However, Alex now senses an unsettling distance developing between them. Initially, the signs are subtle. Sarah becomes increasingly unavailable, her excuses to decline invitations growing vague and repetitive. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly now feel stilted, punctuated by awkward pauses and forced politeness. At first, Alex attributes it simply to Sarah's busy schedule, but gradually, she recognizes deeper currents beneath the surface. One evening, during an informal office gathering, Alex overhears fragments of conversation from nearby colleagues. They speak admiringly of Alex's promotion, then lower their voices sympathetically when mentioning Sarah's repeated attempts and failures to secure a similar advancement. Alex feels an immediate pang of empathy, realizing Sarah's behavior may stem from feelings of inadequacy rather than genuine disinterest. Reflecting quietly later that evening, Alex contemplates the subtle complexities of hidden competition. She remembers Epictetus's wisdom. Men are disturbed not by things but by the view which they take of them. It becomes clear to her that Sarah's withdrawal arises from an internalized sense of inferiority, silently magnified by comparison. Rather than confronting Sarah directly, Alex resolves to navigate the situation with quiet compassion and steady consistency. She recognizes that pressuring Sarah to openly address her feelings could heighten her discomfort. Instead, Alex chooses to remain available, supportive, and consistently genuine, without allowing negative competitive dynamics to influence her actions. Over the following weeks, Alex continues reaching out gently but regularly, expressing sincere interest in Sarah's projects and personal life. Her gestures are subtle yet intentional, always reflecting genuine friendship rather than pity or superiority. Despite occasional coolness from Sarah, Alex remains unwavering, understanding deeply that patience and consistency might eventually break through the silent barriers Sarah has erected. One afternoon, Sarah unexpectedly invites Alex for coffee. During their meeting, Sarah initially hesitates, clearly struggling to articulate her feelings. Eventually, she speaks softly, vulnerability evident in her tone. "I'm sorry I've been distant, Alex. Seeing you succeed so quickly reminded me of all the ways I've fallen short. It was never about you." Alex listens attentively, her expression gentle and understanding. "Sarah, I appreciate your honesty, but please know your value isn't defined by how you measure up against anyone else, including me. Your strengths and journey are uniquely yours." Sarah looks up, visibly moved by Alex's genuine support. The moment, delicate yet powerful, reaffirms their friendship and subtly dismantles the damaging weight of silent competition. Through this experience, Alex deeply internalizes another core Stoic lesson. That genuine strength emerges not through outperforming others, but through consistent personal growth and empathetic understanding. She commits anew to pursuing excellence on her own terms, avoiding destructive comparisons that only lead to unnecessary emotional burdens. Alex realizes profoundly that hidden competition, though inevitable in professional environments, can be managed effectively through clarity, compassion, and consistent authenticity. She learns that gently supporting others, even amidst complex emotional dynamics, can transform quiet rivalry into genuine camaraderie. Walking home beneath the vibrant city lights, Alex reflects gratefully on this critical insight. She understands, now more clearly than ever, that the true burden of comparison only weighs on those who carry it silently, and her quiet strength lies in releasing that weight entirely, both for herself and for others. Alex has always held deep respect for her family and their traditions. However, as she grows professionally and personally, her ambitions begin to diverge from the path her family expects of her. After careful consideration, Alex decides to pursue a non-traditional career that aligns with her passion for social innovation, significantly different from the secure, conventional corporate career her family values. The decision is met with initial disbelief, followed quickly by open expressions of concern. Family dinners, once warm and comforting, now feel tense, filled with subtle but pointed questions and veiled skepticism. Her parents, deeply rooted in traditional beliefs about success and stability, struggle visibly to understand Alex's choices. Her father's tone carries an unmistakable hint of disappointment when he asks, "Are you sure this is really what you want to do?" Alex senses the weight behind these seemingly innocuous questions, the expectations, fears, and deep-seated beliefs about life and career success. She feels an internal conflict, a desire to honor her parents' wishes while remaining true to herself. Reflecting on Stoicism, Alex recalls Marcus Aurelius's words, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be one." She recognizes that authenticity comes with an inevitable price, the risk of misunderstanding and the discomfort of challenging deeply held norms. Understanding this, Alex maintains her commitment to her chosen path, not out of defiance, but from a profound sense of personal authenticity. She calmly and consistently communicates her reasons, always respectful, acknowledging her parents' genuine concerns without surrendering her vision. In quiet moments with her family, Alex patiently explains her passion, detailing how her work contributes positively to society and aligns with her personal values. While her explanations do not instantly dispel their apprehensions, her calm persistence gradually earns their reluctant respect. Weeks pass, and Alex's steadfastness becomes evident through tangible results, small successes, and meaningful impacts that subtly validate her chosen path. Her parents, initially skeptical, begin to witness the sincere dedication and joy in Alex's work. Their rigid skepticism softens slightly as they observe firsthand the meaningfulness Alex derives from her work. One evening, Alex and her mother share a quiet moment after dinner. Her mother speaks softly, her voice tinged with vulnerability. "You know, Alex, it was never that we doubted your abilities. It's just hard to understand choices that feel risky or unconventional. We worry about your future." Alex smiles warmly, responding gently yet confidently. "I know, Mom, and I appreciate how deeply you care. But this path feels truly meaningful for me, even if it looks different from what you imagined. I promise I'm not dismissing your concerns. I just want to live genuinely and contribute in a way that matters deeply to me." This conversation marks a subtle but profound shift. It opens a dialogue grounded in mutual respect, empathy, and openness. While complete agreement remains elusive, understanding deepens significantly. Alex continues to navigate family interactions with clarity and gentle persistence, guided by Stoic principles. She maintains loving communication, never resorting to defensiveness or bitterness, understanding deeply that societal expectations are powerful forces shaped by generations of beliefs and fears. Stoicism teaches Alex to accept what she cannot change, others' perceptions and deeply held beliefs, and courageously change what she can, her own responses, choices, and actions. She knows now that true strength lies not in forcing others to agree with her path, but in remaining authentically committed to it, respectfully and compassionately. Ultimately, Alex discovers that the price of authenticity, misunderstanding, tension, even temporary disappointment, is outweighed profoundly by the fulfillment, integrity, and inner peace it brings. She realizes clearly that her respectful yet firm persistence embodies the quiet strength of Stoicism, demonstrating vividly that genuine success isn't measured by universal approval, but by the authenticity and alignment of one's choices and values. Walking thoughtfully home after another heartfelt conversation, Alex feels profound gratitude. She knows deeply that remaining true to herself, even in the face of familial and social pressures, has cultivated within her a rare and lasting inner strength, an invaluable reward for choosing authenticity, facing pressures of societal expectations. Subscribe to True Stoic Way to find courage, clarity, and strength in living authentically. Following a successful completion of another high-stakes project, Alex feels a deep sense of accomplishment. Yet amidst the celebrations, she senses a subtle disconnect, particularly from Casey, a usually collaborative and upbeat team member.
Casey's typically warm interactions become curt and distant, responses brief and slightly withdrawn. Initially, Alex dismisses these signs as fatigue or personal stress.
But as the days progress, the quiet resentment Casey harbors becomes increasingly apparent in subtle yet telling ways, avoiding eye contact during team meetings, responding tersely to Alex's casual inquiries, and noticeably withdrawing from team social interactions. One afternoon, Alex inadvertently overhears Casey quietly confiding in another colleague, frustration evident in the hushed tone. "I put so much effort into that project, and it feels like Alex didn't even notice. It's like my contributions were invisible." Hearing these words hits Alex deeply, not just because of their implications, but because she genuinely respects Casey's abilities and dedication. Alex reflects carefully on her own actions, recognizing that while her oversight wasn't intentional, it undoubtedly caused real emotional pain for Casey. Rather than feeling defensive or hurt, Alex recalls Stoicism's emphasis on reflection and accountability. Seneca's words resonate with her profoundly. Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. She understands deeply that her inadvertent oversight of Casey's contributions, although unintended, created space for bitterness to grow silently. Determined to address this sensitively, Alex approaches Casey privately, choosing her words thoughtfully and sincerely. "Casey, I've noticed something feels off between us, and I wanted to make sure we address it openly. Your contributions were vital to our success, and I'm worried I might not have communicated that clearly." Casey initially hesitates, visibly struggling with how to respond. Finally, Casey speaks, vulnerability evident. "Honestly, Alex, I just felt invisible. I put my heart into that project, and when it seemed like you didn't notice, I felt like none of it mattered." Alex listens with genuine empathy, recognizing the legitimacy of Casey's feelings without dismissing them. She responds gently and authentically, "I'm truly sorry, Casey. Your contributions absolutely mattered. The project wouldn't have succeeded without your dedication and insight. I'll ensure that never happens again." This honest, open acknowledgement visibly softens Casey's resentment. The interaction becomes a powerful moment of reconciliation and mutual understanding, grounded in humility and clarity. Moving forward, Alex deliberately adopts practices ensuring recognition becomes habitual rather than occasional. She actively highlights her team's individual contributions during meetings, sends sincere messages of appreciation, and regularly acknowledges the specific efforts each team member makes publicly and privately. Through this intentional shift, Alex witnesses the transformative power of recognition, not simply as a superficial gesture, but as genuine validation of effort and value. The team's dynamic subtly improves, becoming more collaborative, open, and genuinely supportive. Reflecting later, Alex deeply internalizes another critical Stoic insight. Genuine leadership involves humility and recognition. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," guides her in consistently seeking clarity, empathy, and kindness in her interactions. Alex learns profoundly from this experience that silent resentment often arises from genuine feelings of being overlooked or undervalued. Stoicism teaches her that acknowledgement is more than a courtesy. It's a fundamental human need deeply intertwined with dignity and self-worth. Each deliberate act of recognition Alex makes reinforces mutual respect and understanding, nurturing a healthier and more harmonious work environment. She recognizes now more than ever that true strength lies not in personal accolades, but in empowering and validating others genuinely and consistently. This realization leaves Alex feeling profoundly grateful, understanding clearly that her quiet strength and stoic wisdom have not only repaired a damaged relationship, but deepened her leadership and fostered a more supportive and respectful community around her. Reflecting on the series of subtle yet profoundly impactful experiences, Alex realizes that the challenges she faced were not mere inconveniences, but deeply instructive moments guiding her towards personal growth and emotional resilience. Each encounter taught her critical lessons about empathy, compassion, humility, and the subtle yet profound power of maintaining clarity and inner peace in the face of hidden emotional turbulence. She clearly sees now that beneath each moment of conflict, misunderstanding, or quiet resentment lies an opportunity to strengthen her character. Alex learns that empathy is not simply about understanding another's feelings. It involves patiently recognizing the silent struggles and insecurities that drive human behavior. Through empathy, she discovers the power of compassion to bridge emotional divides, allowing genuine connection to flourish even amidst misunderstanding. Resilience, she recognizes, is not about becoming emotionally impervious or indifferent. Instead, resilience means facing difficult situations openly, accepting discomfort as part of life's inevitable challenges, and calmly seeking solutions grounded in clarity and compassion. She understands now more clearly than ever the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Alex profoundly appreciates that true resilience emerges not from external validation or immediate victories, but from consistently aligning her responses with Stoic values, patience, humility, and unwavering self-awareness. This resilience allows her not only to navigate complex emotional landscapes, but to grow stronger and wiser with each encounter. Maintaining inner clarity becomes Alex's guiding principle, enabling her to approach each situation thoughtfully rather than reactively. Clarity, she realizes, is born from self-reflection and the mindful awareness of her internal state. It is the steady anchor that allows her to remain calm and composed, even when faced with others' silent hostility or subtle emotional provocations. Stoicism teaches Alex that humility and compassion are not weaknesses, but powerful expressions of quiet strength. Genuine humility allows her to acknowledge her missteps openly, fostering trust and mutual respect. Compassion ensures that she approaches each person with genuine care, even when their behaviors challenge or frustrate her. Through these experiences, Alex internalizes deeply the central Stoic teaching that she cannot control others' emotions or actions. Instead, her true power and responsibility lie solely within her reactions and state of mind. She recognizes profoundly that seeking external validation or trying to control others' perceptions only leads to frustration and emotional turmoil. Instead, Alex consciously chooses to focus on cultivating internal virtues: clarity, resilience, humility, and empathy. By consistently embodying these values, she finds an enduring sense of peace and fulfillment far more meaningful than temporary validation or superficial recognition. Alex's journey through these challenging interactions solidifies her understanding of Stoicism as more than philosophy. It's a practical framework for living authentically and meaningfully amidst inevitable emotional complexities. She sees clearly now that quiet strength emerges from this powerful combination of inner calm, reflective clarity, genuine humility, and sincere compassion. As Alex looks ahead, confident in the strength and wisdom she has gained, she carries forward a profound truth. You cannot control others' emotions, but you always have power over your reactions and your own state of mind. It is this quiet strength, firmly rooted in Stoicism, that now guides her confidently through life's emotional intricacies. If you found value in exploring the powerful insights and practical wisdom of Stoicism, we invite you to subscribe to True Stoic Way. Here, we journey together through life's complexities, uncovering clarity, resilience, and authentic strength. Click subscribe, activate notifications, and join our community dedicated to mastering life's emotional and practical challenges with quiet confidence and inner peace. Remember, your journey to Stoic wisdom and personal growth begins today with one simple step. Join us at True Stoic Way.